Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is an entry onto the alternatives playlist. This is tobacco alternatives, non-tobacco products that are put forth to replace the use of whichever tobacco product you want to insert there. For my viewers, most likely dip, maybe chew, but some of this stuff is geared towards cigarette smokers. This one, however, is definitely geared towards dippers. This is the review of Outlaw's Southern Sweet Tea. Now, if you look back at the Outlaw series, which I believe is one of the late series in the original sets, 1 through 15, you will see the tobacco version of this. There was a tobacco version of this. I believe that review was fairly favorable, except with the catch that I had to add in the comments section a day or two later that the can went bad almost immediately after opening. So hopefully this stuff will fare a little bit better in the hours that follow this review. Hopefully. Anyway, you got one of his layouts. All right. They're good looking cans. They're good looking cans. There's a thin raised rim, sort of in the American Snuff Company fashion. It's sort of like a Grizzly or Kodiak can rim. This white is raised. All right. Actually, the borders of that white, the black that you see there, is raised. The white is actually down at the regular can level. So it comes off well, though. I think the design's a little silly myself, but it looks good. It looks well done. It's good presentation. All right. Then the banding. That's the only thing, by the way, in the middle there. Besides the rim, that is the only thing raised. All right, and I don't know if I can get you a look at that, but the banding is slightly different. I went back and looked at old cans, and not just different from the tobacco products, its predecessors. It's different even from the early ones that I reviewed in alternatives. The Lucky Lipper, that didn't go over well, and the root beer. They are different labels. The branding of Outlaw is different. All right. The older ones, it was sort of in a half moon curve. This is straight. So you got the branding there. You got the nicotine warning. The product does have nicotine, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say a lot of it. You had the flavor, Southern Sweet Tea, his emblem branding, and the manufacturer's information on this one is actually not hidden underneath the barcode. And it looks like they've got the band on almost straight. Or the closest I've seen them do yet. And then you have the fact that it's Southern Sweet Tea, and the can is a net weight 1.2 ounces. All right. That is standard dip can. All right. 1.2 ounce, it'll be 34 grams, 0.02, I think. Yes, 34 grams, 0.02. All right, so the manufacturer's information, which I can actually show on this one, is Ace Moist Snuff Incorporated of Deer Park, New York. All right, and the website is www.outlawdip.com. 100% tobacco free. Underage sale is prohibited. So I'm going to open this up. If I remember, yeah, the bands feel different too. They were sort of a rubbery, and they were a little bit hard. Sometimes they gave, and you couldn't get a thumbnail through them. This has a papery cut sound, which I am sure has been done on purpose. Going for that papery cutting sound. All right? So that's what you're looking at cut-wise. It's like the Tough Guy. I mean, Ace Moist Snuff Incorporated was Tough Guy. That is a strong sweet tea smell coming off that. Much stronger than the tobacco product that preceded it. It doesn't smell bad. It's pretty prominent, though. I'm a little surprised. The tobacco one, as I remember, it tasted good and everything, but it was pretty mellow. This is not smelling mellow to me. So that's what you're looking at in the can, and that is dead on. It's dead on. There's some glistening bits. It's black. The cut is very Tough Guy-esque, okay? It's sort of a fine cut chew. It's not so much strands. It's more of little cubes of leaf, all right? They vary in shape, but it's not by any means strands. But some people are like, well, that's not much like that. No, it's not, but it's pretty darn close to the previous Tough Guy products and Outlaw's previous tobacco products, all right? Which all, by default, were basically fine-cut chew, all right? They were like in the same way as Hawken. In fact, I think they were tax class C as well. All right, so let me pull up my chair here. I'm probably going to have to hit the pause button here because I'm pretty sure my fingers are going to get banged up. Although this stuff is not as wet as before, I'm backing that. There are some longer bits in here, and you can see one right there. All right, which hopefully will help with the cling of the product to itself in the mouth, but the product does not feel slippery though. Whatever that ingredient is that some of these alternative companies use that makes the product almost feel slick, it doesn't do that. It's just it's the cut like Tough Guy. I always had a problem pinching Tough Guy. Outlaw's tobacco, same thing. This is the same deal. I could probably take the back finger away now, and I can, but I just feel the product in the hand feels like I need it there, if that gives you any idea. So, but it's not absolutely soaked like the early products. And I think I believe he's made videos saying that they've tweaked it, listening to what customers had to say. And I believe they probably have. He's not, just blowing wind there. I think they have actually changed it. I'll be back in a moment. And I am back. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually sort of digging this. The flavor of this is a lot more prominent than it was in the previous tobacco product. This is pretty good. Now, I am no connoisseur of Southern sweet tea by any means. I know what it is, but I'm not like, oh, this is the best. But not being from the South, this is what it tastes like. To me, this is what Southern sweet tea tastes like, to me, all right? So, the taste is a lot more prominent. It's a lot more flavor forward than the tobacco product was. The tobacco product was real mellow. There was flavor there. You knew what it was, but it wasn't like this. So, this is pretty darn good. I hate to say it, I may actually dip the entirety of this can. Hopefully the nicotine isn't like ridiculous, like over the top. Although I have a bad feeling that's what I'm going to be looking at in about 4 or 5 minutes. For whatever reason, the last couple I've done, the nicotine has been over the top, but it has taken a little while to get there. It's not like putting in, let's say, a portion of Siberia and realizing you're in trouble, like, from the gate. It's not like that. It almost has been like the mint, especially from the other week, was like, maybe they turned it down. Maybe it's okay. And then like 5 minutes later, you're like, nope, no, they didn't. So now, obviously, I'm spitting with this. Any product that has nicotine in it, I'm spitting. Okay, if it's creating enough saliva where you could start actually swallowing it, then I'm spitting it. Only time I don't do that is with snus of the European variety. I don't, but it doesn't produce the byproduct anyway. Not in the amounts. Something like this does. In the front, there was mouthfeel. I don't want to call it a sweet tea burn, but you get the idea. There was contact feel with the product. On the side, not so much, but I've been dipping here all day, so I wouldn't expect, I would hope not. The feel, though, I mean, it's not because of anything ingredients. It's not like a wintergreen. It's not a wintergreen burn. It's a contact nicotine feel. I don't want to call it so much a burn with this one. It juices up pretty good. Flavor's good. It is sweet. Okay? But even up here in the north anymore, our store-bought teas are all so overly sweetened anyway. The southern sweet tea has sort of been lost in the translation up here. Now, these are running, and I think I corrected myself in the mint video. Somebody initially corrected me in the comments section of the wintergreen one. These are running at $5.99. Is it worth it? To try out, yeah, I think it is. I'll give that to them. I think as far as an alternative goes, it's worth it. Now that may seem steep to some, depending what states you're in, and it may seem like a deal to others. I mean, if you're Canadian and you can get this shipped to you and through customs for $5.99, I don't know what that comes out to Canadian, but it'll be less than 10 Canadian. Yeah, that's a deal. I mean, obviously. But at least to try, because really at this point, that Schmitty's that I tried last week, it was all right, but there was no nicotine in it, which makes it, outside of review material, sort of, I'm going to say, absolutely pointless to me. But this, as far as a product with nicotine, there have been some that have been okay. Even, say, good. Amarillo was all right. It was a fine cut, but it was okay. But really, at this point, and I never thought I'd say this, not about good old Outlaw, this is the closest thing to a dipping experience coming from non-tobacco. Not particularly this product, this flavor, but his stuff. They've got it. Now, they may be fine-tuning still. I know they've definitely fine-tuned some stuff from early on. And I would still stay away from that Lucky Lipper. The Lucky Lipper was off the reservation. But since then, I did one not too long after that Lucky Lipper. It was the root beer. Mr. Schmidt either sent it to me or... Yeah, I think he sent it to me. I think he had it shipped to me. That was in line. It wasn't bad. It was pretty mellow. It was sort of like their old tobacco products. There was almost not enough flavor. But I think the whole time that he's been saying in videos, as I throw the can, that, they're listening. We're listening to you, and we're trying to fix and we're doing this and that. I don't think that's just because he can't think of anything to do content-wise. I think they actually have tuned the products. And if that's the case, go to them. So I had said it's $5.99. And it was, I had said in the original wintergreen that it was $5 or $4.99. It's $5.99. But the shipping was $2 cheaper. Okay, so what I said was $5 a can. I got 2 cans and $6 shipping. It was really $6 a can and only $4 shipping. The overall price was the same. Would I buy more than one? No. I mean, I wouldn't because, you know, I wouldn't dip this exclusively anyway. But would I buy more than one to try out? No, I wouldn't. Partly because beginners are going to have issue with this nicotine-wise. If you're a beginner, I mean, you can get away with it, trying it, but make sure the pinch is really small and work your way up, okay? Nicotine-wise right now, it's not too bad, actually. It's not too bad. I wish they would do like some of the other companies because it would really benefit them. Especially Outlaw Ace Snuff would do themselves a favor if they did more than one nicotine level. Like a half and a full, something like that. All right, like fully loaded. I don't see a point in going like fully loaded with a none, but a half of this and then this, I think they'd do well with that because people aren't going to dislike the flavors. And people are always looking for a dessert dip. And with dessert dips, I'm not so sure, you know, how often people buy them. But you get enough people looking for one once in a while at a nicotine level that they can deal with, and you're probably going to see sales go up, or at least word of your product spread. So I think they do different, but, you know, I am not a big fan of his, and this channel doesn't have, you know, hundreds of thousands. So, I mean, this is sort of like, I'm throwing my 2 cents in here. I'm not expecting anybody to actually listen to me on this, nor would I, you know, I'd be extremely surprised if somebody did. I'd be like, what? It's good. It tastes like sweet tea. It has nicotine. It's not acting crazy yet, though, which is good because we're a ways into this video. The packaging, I think some of the branding's sort of like silly, like the skull and thing and whatnot, but it looks good. You know, no matter what I think about like his brand image, it's put together well, and this one had a label that was pretty. There's a little bit off, but I mean that's not a big deal. It's when they're coming over the top of the lid and whatnot. It's like, yo, come on, really? Whoever you got in the back room sticking the labels on, give them an extra $1 an hour or something. See if they can get this stuff straight. So all in all, favorable for me. This has been the review of Outlaw Southern Sweet Tea. It has not disappointed. It's pretty darn good. I'm liking it. There are a few more of these that I'm going to do. I have one here right now, which may be coming sooner than later because I'm sort of interested myself. I have the Georgia Peach here, but after that, not in-house at the moment. There is Blueberry, which intrigues me, the whole idea. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think it's gonna go well, but it still intrigues me. And the Yellow, which, if you know, right at the end of their tobacco run, was there a Yellow tobacco? Because I don't think I reviewed that. That's just been the alternatives, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, as far as the sweet tea, I'm satisfied with the $6 going out the door. It's giving me material. It tastes good. It's not bowling me over with nicotine yet. The packaging, the presentation is good. the whole thing, it's thus far a pleasant experience. So I always say I give credit where credit's due, and credit is deserved on this product. Again, this has been the review of Outlaw Southern Sweet Tea. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves, and as always, God bless.